above your head and fucking move out. Tell me, fuck you was 19!
Don't kill him! Don't kill him! What's the flanks? Key. Thank God. You'll be safe now. How's the child? Their lives at risk.
Just let her go. You don't know what you're doing.
No? Look around you. It's the uprising. And they haven't even seen the baby. Let's go. Not in front of the girl. Wait till we get around the corner and do them all. Come on!
Scene was coming. Passing the folks along the road and all of them were stopping. And all the lots and lots
It's okay.
all the smoke.
Sorry.
Right, this is the part 2. Okay. All praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and double honors unto the elders, the prophets, okay, of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there on the highways and the byways, teaching this word in sincerity and in truth. Okay, so we're gonna continue on. Alright, where we at? Okay, martial law. Okay, let me just quickly get up another one. Right. So let's do this. Alright, let me put the Cobra team right here. Okay, Salaki, I should have got this up before, but something that I only just remembered, so putting it in there now. So the UK martial law, alright, legislation. A lot of you motherfuckers in the UK think it's a fucking joke. There is martial law legislation in the UK. It's not got the same name as obviously the counterpart in America, but it does basically the same thing. So I'm gonna get this article here. Right. Obviously, they got Hitler's Enabling Act, which is basically the same thing, the same way Hitler put martial law into effect into Germany. But we're gonna get the part going into the UK. All right. Slovakia. 1 second, brothers. Slovakia. Okay. It says when the draft civil contingency bill was published in 2003, okay, it created a furore among civil liberties groups and members of parliament. One committee member, former Tory whip Lord Lucas of Crudwell, raised the prospect that once a state of emergency is declared, the government can effectively tear up the rest of the constitution, because the United Kingdom actually has a constitution, but it doesn't exist anymore, just like the American Constitution. Ever since the Terrorist Act and the civil contingencies, there is no UK constitution. Okay. In fact, if you ask the average person in the UK if there's a constitution, they don't even teach it in the schools, man. It's gone. Okay. The Magna Carta, all of that's gone. That don't exist. Can effectively tear up the rest of the constitution and any bits of this bill they do not like and create a republic. Miss Chakrabarti, spokesman for Liberty, agreed that the most colourful scenario could see a Secretary of State with absolute legislative power, theoretically mounting a threat to the whole UK constitution. Justified as a modernisation of the existing 1920 Emergency Powers Act, you know, which it basically is. The bill proposed to give the police power to run the internet, utilities including the phones, transport, local government. So it's basically like the FEMA executive orders to basically confiscate everything, local government and postal service. If the new measures were introduced, the government would be able to prohibit any assembly or activity it believed threatened national security. Yeah, that's basically anything. So when the economic collapse occurs and you people out there go out there protesting against the banks and the government, you're going to be deemed terrorist and a threat to national security, and you're going to be detained or shot on spot. The laws would allow ministers to declare a state of emergency by consulting Her Majesty the Queen, but not Parliament, because the Queen still really has the absolute power. You know, the Parliament is just an act. You know, the Queen is still in power. Ultimately, she's a Rothschild anyway. When you really get into it, she ain't no Saxe Cobra golfer, man. Which makes complete sense. They're illegitimate Rothschilds, man, through adultery. Okay. That's the information that be coming out. But either way, they're juiced in with the Rothschilds anyway. They're intermarried, so they still really run the shit, man. The Prime Minister is just a puppet, just like the American president. So the draft civil contingencies bill also allowed police to enforce emergency cordons. Yeah, that's your martial law, your checkpoints, in major British cities in the event of a terrorist attack. The new laws would allow police to stop the spread of infection by throwing health cordons around areas hit by biological or chemical attacks, according to the Sunday Times newspaper. It said that people would be prevented from escaping from the affected area. Specially trained armed police and military units would be sent in to enforce the cordons and control any outbreak of disorder, including looting. Remember, they have a shoot to kill policy. The Minister of Defense told the newspaper that a new civil contingency reaction force would have the option of using live ammunition. Okay, that's for you niggas over there in London that think you're top dans, you're big boy gangsters. You wanna copy niggas in America, man. Where you gonna have your opportunity, man? You gonna have your opportunity, man, cause they gonna have them fucking troops on top of them towers with the SA-80s. Okay, they gonna have them SA-80s pointed at your dome. They're gonna be on them checkpoints with them SA-80s, man, pointing at your dome. Them MP4s that they hang around with. And them gun units are more and more around London, man. Them gun units, man. Okay. Firearms units. We call them gun units. these guys, you know, they're gonna have them SA, what's it, SA5? Automatic, it's the UK automatic sniper rifle, man. Damn. Anyway, I can't find, but I remember I was watching Future Weapons, man, and the English army had developed a new sniper rifle, man. That was it 50 caliber or something like that, an automatic, man. And that shit was fucked, man. They were laying off. It carries 5 shots, man, and they could fire those 5 shots in like 5 seconds, man. Just doof, 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 doof. They're gonna be tearing you niggas' heads off with that shit, man. Down there rioting and shit. Alright, looting and shit. That last shit they did, the way you had them London riots, man, they allowed you niggas to run riot. In fact, they set that shit up as a test. When next time that shit happens, they ain't gonna be fucking playing the games, man. They're gonna be shooting you niggas, man. The 7,000 strong force is to be deployed to 14 regions in 2004. Plans have been drawn up by the government for a mass evacuation of London in the event of a terrorist attack, reported the Sunday Times in September 2003. Leaked documents detail how residents could be herded into rest and reception areas, concentration camps, in the home counties. Disturbingly, it talks about long-term rehousing if an attack made an area uninhabitable, raising the possibility of internment, concentration camps, and massive government-orchestrated confiscation of viable real estate in the capital. These new executive powers should also be seen in the context of a drive for a national police force. The war against terrorism is set to be masterminded by a new UK police force dubbed Blanket Stormtroopers. Yep. Okay, which obviously they got FEMA here too. It's basically the same thing. Alright. Now they got something called the Cobra, the Cabinet Office Briefing Rooms, man. And when that them riots happening, David Cameron summoned the Cobra. It refers to the location for a type of crisis response committee set up to coordinate the action of bodies within the government of the United Kingdom in response to instances of national or regional crisis or during events abroad with major implications for the UK. The constitution of the Cobra meeting depends on the nature of the incident, but is usually chaired by the Prime Minister or another senior minister, with other key ministers as appropriate and representatives of relevant external organizations such as the Association of the Chief Police Officers and the local government organization, man. And they're the ones that's going basically invoke the emergency powers, man, and get you niggas put to death on the streets. They're going to invoke that martial law. Cobra team can invoke emergency powers, martial law. The Cobra Committee is the United Kingdom's emergency response team for national emergencies, basically just like FEMA. Despite its sinister sound, the name is simply an acronym, because they did that on purpose, simply an acronym for one of the venues where it meets, the Cabinet Office Briefing Room 8. And it's reason why they call it Cobra, because they know exactly what it's for. What's a Cobra? What's a Cobra? A venomous stink, a deadly venomous stink. And they're going to use it on you niggas here in the UK. Alright? Add to that, you got something called the Anti-Terrorism Act, which has a shoot to kill policy, man. Shoot to kill. Now, what makes it key is the definition of a terrorist, alright, was ratified by the EU, alright, under the new frameworks, alright, since 2008, which is implemented now, because the deadline for transposition of this EU amendment was the 9th of the 12th, 2010. So it's in line now. Now, according to this, which I've got up here, right? Let's just get the basic breakdown. I want to get this other one too. Right, here's the article. Right. EU to adopt new laws on terrorism. Definition of terrorism to cover groups with the aim of seriously altering the political, economic or social structure of one or more countries and an institution, and includes urban violence. So basically, they're gonna make it where everyone is a terrorist. Anyone can be a terrorist, right? Disrupting infrastructure is a terrorist act. So you get on a bus, you argue with a bus driver, you stop that bus driver from driving the bus, you've just interrupted public transport, which is a form of infrastructure. You're a terrorist. And guess what? Shoot to kill policy, straight up detainment. Alright? Now it says the proposed framework, which this is the framework here. They've already passed it and it's now in line in 2010. Alright? And it's going to tell you about what's in there. Alright? Now it says the key provision is 1. Defining terrorist offensive, Article 3, which says each member state according to its national law shall ensure that the following offences, which are intentionally committed by an individual or a group against one or more countries, their institutions or people. So basically anything, you know, you stab someone in the street, that's no longer murder now. That's just a terrorist act with the aim of intimidating them and seriously altering or destroying the political, economic or social structure of those countries will be punishable as terrorist offences. So you go out on the street protesting the government, you're trying to alter the political structure or social structure of that country, you're a terrorist. That's basically political dissenters. It then sets out these offences and penalties: murder, bodily injuries, kidnapping, extortion, theft, robbery, unlawful seizure of or damage to state or government facilities, means of transport, infrastructure facilities, places of public use and property. So protesting, if they told you that you can't go out in the streets and protest, and you go out in the streets and you're all standing out there in the road and shit, blocking the road, straight away, 1, that's a terrorist attack, that's punishable at death if they deem that to be harmful to life, and you can be seized and put in the damn concentration camp for 5 years, they say. Fabrication, possession, acquisition, transport or supply of weapons or explosive, releasing contaminating substances, interfering with or disrupting the supply of water, power or other fundamental resource, attack through interference with an information system, threatening to commit any of the offensive listed above. You go on Facebook or whatever and you say some wild shit, directing a terrorist group, promoting or supporting of a participation in the terrorist group. So they could just say that you were promoting it. They could just say that you agreed with it. Bam, that's your ass. They could just say that. All right, and then when you go, when I went into on this site which had it on there, it says encouragement of terrorism. It also says preparation. That's why a lot of people now, if you go into London and you take a picture with your mobile phone or your camera phone, they can search you under the Terrorism Act, because taking a picture of a building with your phone is preparation for a terrorist act. So like I said, based upon the Terrorist Act, any and anyone, based upon anything you do, you can be deemed a terrorist. If you say you don't like the Conservative government, you prefer Labour, you're a terrorist, man. You're a political dissenter, man. If you say you don't like the political system, you're a terrorist. Like, so they just bring these laws in these broad terms, and like I said, they got a shoot to kill policy, and it ain't no different to the NDAA or the Patriot Act. It ain't no fucking difference. It's the same shit. Right? Now, where's my shoot? Alright, police shoot. Where's my shoot to kill property? Right, now, let me go back to the Civil Contingencies Act, which is coupled with the Terrorist Act. The Terrorist Act and the Civil Contingency Act is much like the NDAA and the Patriot Act and FEMA. All these legislations come together and they basically mean martial law. Now, the Civil Contingency Act, right? We're going to read from part 1. It says, those in category 1 are organizations at the core of the response to the most emergencies, the emergency services, local authorities, NHS bodies. Category 1 responders are subject to the full set of civil protection duties. They will be required to assess the risk of emergency, so forth, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, that's like FEMA. scroll down. Alright, that's the point. It's basically like FEMA. So like I said, it's the same thing, but they got a different name for it. The Civil Contingencies Act is just like FEMA, and they're going to use it to institute martial law. Alright? And they got all the plans in there and all that shit. Okay? So I'm going to put the article up. Brothers can go through it intently if you want, but I don't want to make this video too long because it's already getting on. Right? And it's the same thing with the FEMA executive orders, man. Allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of the highways and seaports. And you can go through and read all these for yourself. Right? They got the civilian internment camps. FEMA, all these executive orders, martial law legislation. And this is, like I said, it's the same thing in the UK. So we got the Terrorism Act here in the UK, okay, or the EU Terrorism Acts. Over there in America, you got the Patriot Act and the NDAA. It's the same fucking shit. You got the FEMA and their emergency powers, the executive orders, and over here we got the Civil Contingencies Act, 2000 and I think it was 8. I believe it was in 2008. Alright, see if I could dig any more out of this. Emergency powers. See, anytime you see emergency powers, that's martial law. That's basically do whatever they want to do. Right? And basically they can just take power to make emergency oh, there we go. Power to make emergency regulations. Her Majesty may by order in council make emergency regulations if satisfied that the conditions in section 21 are satisfied. Basically they can pass whatever fucking law they want. They can do whatever the fuck they feel like. It's martial law, warlike law, anything fucking goes. Alright? All this fucking bullshit. They should just say, do whatever the fuck you want. That's really what it should just say. Because that's what the FEMA is. FEMA's, when they put together that contingency of government and all that shit, that's basically saying, do whatever the fuck you want. So, like, basically what I've tried to show you is the Civil Contingencies Act is basically the same as FEMA, man. Right? Emergency powers. The duration of it, all that's bullshit. It doesn't really fucking matter, man. At the end, emergency regulations shall lapse at the end of a period of 30 days beginning with the date on which they are made, and at such early time as may be specified in the regulation, shall not prevent the making of new regulations, and shall not affect anything done by virtue of the regulation before they lapse, whatever. And then they can just renew it every 30 days. Whatever. This is bullshit. Alright? Basically do whatever the fuck they feel like. And they're going to cordon off the area, and they're going to basically put hell on you motherfuckers, man, and deem the majority of you terrorists, and start fucking depopulating the place, start putting you people to death. Alright? Same with the National Defense Authorization Act, man. It declared the United States and their citizens as being basically, the United States is now a war zone, and they can detain you citizens without cause or whatever and just kill your ass. You're enemy combatant now. Okay, so there you go. UK, US, no matter where you are, man, EU, the same shit's gonna happen, man. They're gonna bring through those emergency powers, and that's gonna be your ass. So with that, I'm just going to say shalom. I'll put all the links up in the thing. Brothers can read through it more intently, but I just wanted to summarize it and just show you that Everything that's going to happen in America is going to happen here in the UK and in Europe, man, and all over the world, because they got the same legislations, man. And the key word is emergency powers, man. Anytime you see emergency powers, that's martial law. It always has been. Even going back to Rome, how did Caesar become a dictator and bring martial law down on Rome? Through emergency powers, man, which were embedded into the Roman constitution. The emergency powers are always there. Okay, that's why they put them there. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.